So hey guys, it's me again, Kent Mangguwat from BIT2A. So tonight let's talk about another problem, which is this problem. So let's start. So first thing first is include stdio.h. This tells the computer to include a standard input or output the library. It's needed to use functions like printf, which prints text on the screen. So ang kaning include connew. This is an old library used for console input or output functions like clear screen and getch. It mostly used in older compilers like Turbo C, but don't need in modern compilers. So functions void. This defines a name add that takes two integers parameters x and y, which represent the numbers we want to add. End result. Here, a variable result is created to store the result of the addition. Result. This line is the actual addition. It adds the value of x and y and stores the result in result. Printf. So printf, this prints the result on the screen, like the %d is the placeholder for the integers x and y. And result. It shows the sum of two numbers and readable format. Void main. Void main is the main function where the program starts, like the beginning point of your program. Clear screen. This clear screen that is specific to some older buyers that helps to remove anything that was previously printed on the screen, making the output look clean. Add 30. These all are functions called to the add functions. The program calls add three numbers passing different pairs of numbers to be added. For example, can add 30, comma, space the 15 will add 30 and 15. So, kung unsay result aning 13 plus 15, so more na siya. More na siya sa atin ng direct ng add 63 and 49. So, getch. So, more na siya ang the ending sa inyong code. That's all. Thank you. So let's proceed to number 2 problem. So we all understand og unsay gamitan ning include stdio og include conjusa. So let's proceed to function declaration of variables. So void sent in asterisk number 1. These functions is defined to take the pointer to an integer like int asterisk number 1. A pointer is a variable that stores the memory address of another variable. The asterisk number 1 means that the functions can modify the value of the variable number 1 direct in memory. Printf. So printf, this print the message enter a number on the screen to ask the user to input a number. Like mo na mo gawa sa imong output na mo enter ka og number o pila imong ganahan. Yes, scanf, this function gets the user to input. The %d is a format specifier that tells scanf to expect an integer. Number 1 is a pointer, so it will store the user input at the memory address of the variable number in the main function. So void main declaration of variables int number. This declares an integer variable number that will hold the value you entered by the user. Clear screen, so we all know how it works man. So proceed to send a number. Here, the send function is called, the end symbol is called to pass the address of the number variable to send the function. This is important because send variables expect a pointer to an integer int number 1, and we need to pass the address of number so the function can modify it. Printf. So kabalo ng taon sa yung printf sa mga alam na yung display sa inyong screen. Like after the user has entered the number, this program prints the message. You enter like sa itong enter kay mo sa itong magawas kay kaning you entered sa itong enter nga number like 35, so 35 magawas like you entered 35, so ano siya, so getch is the ending of your code. Thank you. So let's proceed to number 3. So since we already know what is the function of include and continue, is proceed sa void swap. These functions, it means there's a name swap that takes two pointers to integers, like an int asterisk a and int asterisk b. A pointer is a special variable that holds the other previous location of another variable in memory. So void the main function and ij. Here we declare two integer variables I and j, which will hold numbers we want to swap. Printf, so this prints the message on the screen asking the user to enter two values. Scanf, this gets the user input and stores it in I and j. The end symbols get address of I and j to pass it to scanf. Print before swapping. This prints values of I and j before they are swapped. Swap I and j. This is called the swap function. Passing the address of I and the j to the function is then use I and j. The function will swap the values using this address. Printf. After the swap, this prints the new values of I and j. Catch. This waits for the user to press key before the program ends. It's commonly used in old compilers. The swap function, void swap function. This is the swap function. It takes two pointers and uses variables as arguments. And temp. This function will create a temporary variable to hold one of the values during the swap. Temp a. Temp equals asterisk a semicolon. The asterisk a means the value that the address stores in a. So temp is temporary. It stores the value of I because a points to I. Asterisk a equals to asterisk b semicolon. Finally, the value at the address b, which is j, is replaced the value stored in temp, which is called the original value of I. So, thank you. So hi guys, so let's continue our code. So this is code number 4. So balo ng taon sa niyang sa function sa include stdio mansasa. Ang kaning stdio kay mo sa standard input ug output library, which is need needed to use functions like printf and scanf for printing and reading data. Now, kaning kunyo kay this is a library which is used for function like clear screen and getch. So function esposito and find max. This takes two numbers, num1 and num2. It uses operator to check if num1 is greater than num2. Like kaning question mark o kaning question mark. If, for example, if num1 is greater than num2, ug true man gani, mubalik siya sa num1. If pas gamay ay if mas dako ang num2 kaysa num1, mubalik siya sa num2. So mao na siyang explanation sa kaning root term num1 is greater than num2. So and find min. So pares na sila. Ang nakalahi lang kay minimum ni siya. This function is similar to find max, but it returns to the minimum of the two numbers. It checks if the num1 is smaller than the num2 is than num2. So makatungin na if true, it returns to num1 if gamay ang num2. Otherwise, it returns to num2. End main. So end main esa siya end main end num comma space max comma space min. So declares for 4 integers variables. Num will store the number of inputs kaning num int num, and max and min will store the largest and smaller numbers. So ang kaning max kay man sa largest numbers, kaning min kay smallest, and the I is not actually used in the code. Simply display na siya. So clear screen ka walang taprasan eh. Works only. Printf. This display a message asking the user how many numbers they want to input. Man siyang printf once someone goes in your screen. And scanf, this take the user input stores the num value is iyan tawag ko na nga itong num values, num variable. If this checks if the users entered less than two numbers, if they did, it prints a message is up by program returning 1. Printf, so mo display na siya. If dili ka mo input og actual numbers, will ask them to enter the numbers. So asa nandun eh. So kada sa kuan to sa sign sa usa ka printf sa kanang percentage numbers. So this prompt the user to enter the actual numbers. It will ask to them to enter the num numbers. So mo siya ang go sa yung screen can enter numbers. So scanf, this reads the first number and store it in variable maximum. So main, set the main is equals to max, semicolon. Set the main value equal to max because we have not yet read the other numbers, so they initially the same. So scanf %d, this reads the second number from the user. However, this line is problematic because the first num variable should not be used for this, and otherwise it numbers of elements. Max find is called the find max function to compare the current max with the newly entered and updated max if the number is larger. So, maano siya, akin yung printf